It's the Ace and TJ Show with a little extra. Uncensored, unedited, and almost uninterrupted. Get ready for the most extra podcast known to man. The Ace and TJ Show presents the Extra Funny Podcast.
So I want to get back to something that we talked about at the end of the radio show today. Rob, when you were a child and people would sing happy birthday to you, you would cry.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
And to this day, when people, if you were in a restaurant and someone were to sing happy birthday to you, you would get up and walk out of the restaurant.
That's correct. I've never done it before because people know better. Mostly because my mother does the same thing, and so they just know not to mess with me.
So when people sing happy birthday to your mom in a restaurant, she gets up and leaves?
She hasn't yet, but again,
she would.
She has always told us since we were little that if we went to a place on our birthdays and they sang to us, she's leaving. Like, she didn't want to be there if they sang to somebody else at the table either. I can't explain the reasoning behind it, but that's just.
Meaning, if they came and sang to your brother, mm-hmm. she would get up and leave the table because she wouldn't to be there while they sing to your brother either?
Yeah, I can't remember ever going to a place and having them sing happy birthday to us.
Yeah, I can remember one of the greatest things that I've ever seen, one of the funniest things I've ever seen. There was a place called Cuco's. It was a Mexican restaurant that we loved in my hometown in Alexandria, Louisiana. And one time, my sister was a kid. We went there, and when it was your birthday, you know, they came and put the sombrero on you and bought you a piece of birthday cake and the whole thing. And my sister slipped away from the table to go to the bathroom. She was about 12, maybe 13, and she told them it was my dad's birthday. And they came out, and, you know, they're all singing, and they come with the birthday cake, and he's looking around, and suddenly they throw that sombrero on his head, and he didn't know what to do. He was confused. He didn't know what was happening. He didn't know, do I tell them it's not my birthday? Because they've obviously come to the wrong table. He had no idea that she had done it. And he was trying to tell the guy, I think you're at the wrong. Like, he's wearing the sombrero and he's trying to take it off and they're holding it down. He's like, I think you got the wrong table. and I didn't know because she didn't tell me either. Right. And then I glanced over and she was like crying. She was laughing so hard, just rolling. And then it all kind of made sense. But for those first 30 seconds, 20 seconds though, he was trying to be so nice to her. But like, I don't think, it's not me. It's not my birthday. I think you're in the wrong place.
There's a Mexican restaurant here in Charlotte where what they'll do is, you know, they'll start coming out and you hear the music and it's like the whole staff comes out. Yeah. They sing happy birthday and then you think it's over and they're like, y ahora en español. And they start singing it all over again, but in Spanish. No yeah. Oh, so it's like 2 times.
So you have to hear the whole song twice.
All over again. And you're like, just please leave.
Yeah, there was a place in Gastonia that was called RJ Gators. I don't know if you remember that place. It was a chain.
Yeah.
But they would throw whipped cream in your face on your birthday. So we would always tease people, let's go to RJ Gators on your birthday. Everybody was like, I will never go there anywhere near my birthday.
Doesn't that place in Salisbury is known for putting whipped cream in your face or something, isn't it? Isn't there a place that we talked about before? There is a place that they would do that.
I would not
they
like that.
They do that to me, we fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that either.
You're messing up my lashes.
But it's just like I saw on, it was on Twitter the other day, there's a restaurant now called Karen's, and it's just like Dick's Last Resort.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and the lady comes to the table, and, you know, every waitress is a Karen, and when she shows up, she's got everything in the basket, and she's just dropping the baskets on the table, and then she drops the guy's onion rings onto the table, and then she reaches down and takes an onion ring out of there, puts it in the dipping sauce, and walks away eating the onion ring, and they're laughing uproariously. I'm like, F that. I don't like Dick's Last Resort. I don't want to go to any place like that where they're rude. I don't like that restaurant at Disney World where the lady's rude when she comes around to you. Yeah. I just don't like it. That is not my thing.
Yeah. I get it.
I go out of my way to try to be nice. Do not be rude to me. I hate you and it.
It's a different side of the spectrum, but there's a place in New York where they break out into like show tunes and stand on your tables and stuff. I also would not like that.
Yeah.
No, especially if I'm still eating. Like, excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know if I need show tunes on top of the table while I'm in the middle of trying to just to eat a hamburger.
But that's why you don't go to those places, because those are like experiences.
Yeah, which I get. I totally get that if that's your thing.
Yeah.
You know, but even if it was like a band that I liked, like if I'm trying to eat, I don't need you standing on my table while I'm trying to choke down this cheeseburger. Or whatever.
Could you imagine TJ won't go to a place that just has regular live music if they stood on his table?
Right.
That kills me too. He's like, I got live music. I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be too loud. Well, we don't know. We hadn't been. It's outdoors. We can sit away. I don't want to go.
Yeah, if it is too loud. I mean, we went to a lunch that one time. They had stand-up comedy going on.
That was weird. That was
hate
just a
it.
weird thing.
It was just us there, basically.
Because you can't really
Yeah, it was
continue
us
a
and,
conversation.
Like 10 listeners, and we had a table full of people, and everybody was so nice. We were trying to get to know the listeners, and there's a guy there going, so my wife comes home yesterday. You know, it's like, dude, what are we doing?
It's not a show. Like, you can't, music at least, you can kind of continue to have a conversation, but a stand-up show, you have to focus on the stand-up comedian.
Yeah, especially when he's trying to incorporate you into his act.
Yeah. There's people with their backs to the stage. Like, it just doesn't work out great.
So Mark just DM'd us on Twitter and said, have restaurants switched back to Happy Birthday since the rights to that expired and it's public domain now? I think that has a lot to do with it, that people would do that, because you used to have to pay a fee. And then that's why, like Rob mentioned earlier, Chili's has its own birthday song. That's why, because they didn't want to pay the fee to sing Happy Birthday every day.
Welcome to Chili's.
Think about it. At least once a day, I bet they do Happy Birthday.
So annoying.
Sometimes, like, I've been at a place and they do it more than once in a day, and I'm like, they are not happy about
The
this.
Cheesecake Factory, they like round up servers like, we got to go sing Happy
I bet
Birthday, and you'd be like,
Yeah, how many times a day do they sing that at
Busy.
Cheesecake Factory? He also adds, the Mexican place in Clover, South Carolina, will sing, put a sombrero on your head, and put whipped cream on your face, but you get a free dessert.
I don't care.
I
I'd
don't
rather
care.
pay for the dessert.
Yeah, I'd rather pay for the dessert.
Or give
than
me
have-
like the free little dessert they give at the end.
Yeah, but
The
you know,
sopapillas. Those are so good.
yeah, those are good. You know, like Texas Roadhouse, they do line dancing in the middle of dinner.
Line dancing.
Yes.
That was like
Yeah.
Johnny Rockets. Do you guys remember? Did you guys
Johnny
ever eat at a
Rockets, yeah.
Johnny Rockets?
Yep.
They used to have like a show or something.
I would, yeah,
Which I do
I can
like
handle
that.
the line dancing thing because it doesn't really affect me. You know what I mean?
I still don't want to see it.
Yeah, I would be affected by that. But, oh, no.
But I
Here
can
we
just
go
continue
again.
to eat and kind of ignore it while they're dancing.
Yeah.
You know?
Line because it's like Texas. Is that the?
I can't answer the question.
You know, we're from
Yeah.
Texas. We line dance. I'm like, bullshit. Get out of here.
Yeah, to me, that's one of those things that's kind of easy to ignore and just let it go. So I don't have to pay attention to it.
Yeah, I don't even want to eat at a Rainforest Cafe where you hear all the fake animals. So
And lightning strikes every once in a while.
Rainforest Cafe?
no, and it smells like water in there.
Yeah, it can have a mildewy feel
I
to
don't
it
like
sometimes.
that.
I get it. That's the way the rainforest feels, but it can be kind of odd.
It stinks.
Yeah, it smells.
I'm trying to think of a theme type restaurant that I like. Like I love, say what you want. I love the Hard Rock Cafe. That's
Yeah,
my
that's
thing.
a cool
That's
one.
in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Planet Hollywood, it's okay. It was, I've eaten at a couple of Planet Hollywoods in places, or we've had events there, whatever, and it's okay.
The T-Rex one. The T-Rex. It's kind of like Rainforest Cafe, but it's all dinosaurs. Turns out the food was not that good.
Do
There.
the servers dress up as dinosaurs?
It was. Yeah.
They all have little short arms.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
They just hold. All they can do is hold the tray. You got to get everything off of it yourself.
That'd be cool, like a Flintstones cafe. I would love that.
A Flintstones cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah, the T-Rex Cafe.
Where's the T-Rex cafe?
That's at Disney, I think.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Well, I haven't been there very many
Disney
times,
Springs,
but
yeah.
But I know when Peyton and I went to Krakow, she had her 19th birthday in Krakow right after she graduated high school, and about a month after she graduated high school. And I said, we've been here a couple days. Where do you want to go? We go anywhere. Money is no object. She goes, Hard Rock Cafe. I was like, that's my kid right there. Let's do it. And we sat in the window that overlooked this beautiful square, and we ate at the Hard Rock and walked around and looked at memorabilia, and we had an awesome time. I got a little lit. She had a couple drinks because she was, legal in Poland.
Yeah.
18 to the
It's
legal
interesting.
drinking age.
There's a Hard Rock Cafe there.
Yep, right there in the middle of this square that's been there for, probably over 1,000 years or so. It's got an incredible history. And then it's on
they throw a Hard Rock Cafe in the middle of
yeah,
it.
and there's a Hard Rock. Yeah, it's true. And it's within this building that is right next to this old church that we toured that is laced in gold, and it's millions and millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars. And it's a one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And the building literally right next door houses the Hard Rock Krakow.
That's crazy.
They're
Maybe
catering to people just like you. I mean, that's like when you go to Times Square and you're like, how does the Applebee's survive there? But then it's like packed out.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They're like something familiar because Polish food, you either enjoy Polish food or you do not.
Right.
So
Yeah.
maybe the Hard Rock Cafe is like a nice respite from all the other stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture now. They put like a front on an older building, but it still looks like it kind of fits. But you can tell they put a newer front right on it, and it's right next to this church. And we had an awesome time. But I used to love going to New York. There was an ESPN zone that was huge in Times Square, and I was up there. It was a great place to go on a Saturday to try to catch the LSU game because it was just and most of the people were tourists.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who were in there.
Yeah.
I felt out of place the whole time I've been here, but
Yeah.
we walked in this Hard Rock Cafe.
Other than that,
My brethren.
I hate the idea of being in Times Square and going to TGI Fridays or something like that. Hell no.
It's
I'd
a
rather,
Red Lobster, a Margaritaville. And
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you could go get pizza, you know.
yeah, you're in the middle of it's times. It's like being in New Orleans and deciding, let's go eat at Chili's. Hell no, we're not going to eat at Chili's.
And I know I reference The Office a lot, but that reminds me of Michael Scott when he's in Times Square and he's like, yeah, and they have my favorite pizza place, authentic, and it's Sbarro's.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Yeah, but I have done that. You walk by that TGI Fridays in Times Square, like, what? Who is eating it?
But they're packed out.
They're
Packed.
line out the door.
And I just went to TGI Fridays not too long ago, and I do not go to chain restaurants, not my thing. And I was like, this is why I don't go here. It was not the best.
I think that was called Fridays now.
Don't
is
they
it
still
really?
have the TGI though in
really?
front of it? Don't they? Or do
I've heard commercials where they just call it Fridays.
Fridays?
Yeah.
they do have good appetizers though in the frozen section at the grocery store?
Yeah. Yeah.
Their potato skins are good.
Yeah,
and
those are
mozzarella
pretty
sticks.
solid. But I was just trying to think. There aren't a lot of places like that I would ever see a chain and go, let's go there.
Yeah.
No.
Although it was, and it's not the same thing. But when we were in 2000, when TJ and I went to Australia for Coke for the Olympics, I went to the McDonald's one day between like walking from one event to another. I was like, oh, there's a McDonald's in Sydney. I'll go check that out. And they left the doors open. And damn birds are flying around inside the McDonald's. Not a lot of them, just a few of them. But like you'd be sitting in the restaurant, and it kind of had an L shape to it, and the doors on each end were already open. It was a beautiful day, and it was full of people. But you walk in and got your meal, and they had a few things that were different, that kind of stuff, which was cool to see. But you'd be sitting down eating. I was just sitting there by myself eating, and you'd see like a bird would fly in and land on the floor, and we were walking around. Another bird would fly out the door. I was like, this is wild.
It's weird.
I would like to try like McDonald's in other countries. My friend is in Japan right now, and he actually just posted recently that he's like, he had a meal at the McDonald's out there, and it was one of the best meals that like McDonald's meals he ever had because it was different.
They can be totally different
Yeah.
and they have
And different
not only they have
sauces.
unique stuff, but the way they prepared it all is different
Right.
depending on the culture and what they expect.
Yeah, a lot of them have like only available in those countries, and they look great.
Yeah. He had like the spicy beef burger, and it looks so good.
Now, I'm lost for the day now. I've gotten back into looking at this Hard Rock in Krakow, trying to find where our table was.
Was it regular American food?
Yeah.
Yeah. No pierogies.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they had, I don't remember enough about the menu to know. I'm sure they had other things, like whatever you just said. Borscht or whatever.
It's a beet soup, isn't it?
But yeah, they was just regular, you know,
Hot wings, burger.
wings,
Polish
burgers.
sausage.
Yeah.
They probably had Polish sausage in there and all kinds of cool stuff. But yeah, it was pretty fun. But yeah, I do find it fascinating when you're in a city like we talked about, New York. You're in Chicago. Somebody goes, "We'll just hit the Pizza Hut." What?
What are you doing?
I plan ahead like what restaurants I'm gonna go to. I have already looked at the menu. I'm already like the reviews. There's no way. There's no way I would go to a Fridays on vacation.
If it was a foreign restaurant, if it was a foreign country, I might go to ones that I like because they're gonna have different stuff. But like, no, you're probably right.
I might give you one to go see.
Yeah.
You might go to let's try, we're in Paris. No, I'm not going to Chili's in Paris. Never mind. I was,
Be like, what?
I was about to say that. I was like, no, maybe not.
Funnier than your average podcast. This is the Extra Funny Podcast, presented by Neogenics. Find out more about Neogenics at acetj.com/Neogenics. More Extra Funny podcasts next. Putting the X in extra. This is the Extra Funny Podcast from the Ace and TJ Show.
Okay, I saw a question on Reddit the other day. Yesterday, rather, that I saved for today because I thought it was pretty good. just for the Extra Funny podcast. Is it okay? Is it okay to tell your significant other they are not the best you've ever had?
Maybe if you're like breaking up with them right after that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's part of the breakup. And by the way, you're not even the best lay I've ever had.
No, that's not appropriate. Never.
Not okay, you say,
I don't
Riggins?
think so.
Alexis?
No, I don't think so.
Rob, you say no?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I would agree.
There's no need.
Well, what if you're just being honest?
No.
Well, then why stop there? I mean, you could make all kind of nasty comments.
Yeah. How much honesty do you want about that?
I don't need
when
any.
you're in a relationship. You need none?
I need none.
You don't want to know anything about backstory, history, anything that happened before you.
Nope.
I need you to tell me I'm the greatest thing ever.
No, don't care.
You wouldn't want to know like what could I do better for you? What would you like more? That kind of stuff. Anything that could enhance the experience.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't want to know. I don't want to know about the past. But if something could be improved, let me know.
Aw, Rob. That's sweet.
Have you ever? What could you? Have you asked that question?
No.
Oh.
I'm not gonna come out with it. But if you, I'm not gonna say, hey, you want me to do this something different? No, I'm not gonna do that. But if you want to tell me, then yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I like that. You surprise me sometimes, Rob. Sometimes you say things and I'm like, oh, God. But then you say these kind of things and I'm like, okay.
He's very in touch.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to put this together in my head because I'm trying to see Rob sitting there with him going, so, like, sexually, what do you need? What can I do better for you?
Exactly. It's not happening.
You said that's not happening,
No,
Rob?
I'm not asking about it at all. But if it comes up or somebody says something, then yeah, I'll take it to heart.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So if they just casually mention, hey, next time, what do you think about, I'm kind of into that. You'd be like, you know what? I'll take that to heart. That's
Yeah,
a good one.
that's fine. Yeah.
I get that's cool.
So how you maintain a good relationship.
No, I agree. But I would be one to come right out and just ask, like, hey, what are you need a little more? What is something like? What's on your mind? Got anything you want to do we've never
Got
done
feedback?
before? Yeah, you got like, wear a ski mask. What? I mean, whatever it might be.
That was a very specific thing.
I was just trying to pull a random idea there.
Okay.
Just saying.
Maybe put on the ski mask.
You want to play cops and robbers?
Yeah, you want me to hide behind the door and jump out and scare you? Okay. So it's not okay to tell somebody they're not the best you've ever had.
No.
Fair enough. 'Cause I can't see where there's anything positive that comes from that conversation. Unless your person goes, well, what would it take to become number one?
And in my head, I'm gonna think that I'm the best they ever had. I don't care, no matter what.
You just have to assume.
Yeah, like
you're
I'm the
killing
best
it.
you've ever had.
I never assume that. I don't care.
What was it internally you say better than your ex and better than your next?
Yep. So you wouldn't, where you rank in the world doesn't matter to you at all, Riggins.
Well, Riggins is all about, I mean, he said this before, it's all about him. So he's not going to be worried about his performance as long as he's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
So if it works out for him,
Yeah.
we're all a winner here. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Good night.
If it starts,
See ya.
if it starts cutting into him having a good time, then maybe he'd worry about it.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, why women aren't just falling in line for that? I don't know.
Who knows?
I think Riggins dates a lot more. I don't know if dates is the proper term for it. I think there's a lot more going on there than we have any idea about.
Probably.
Because he said before he doesn't want us to know anything, and he
I get
won't
it.
share. So we get it.
It's a lot to put it out there. Sometimes you just got to be quiet about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she kept the relationship with Jay close to the chest for a long time because
yeah,
she was
I
afraid
did.
to talk about it. Mm-hmm. She just didn't want to jinx it,
And I was like, let me make sure this is going somewhere before I even talk about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get that. I think that makes sense. But did you keep the? I don't remember, Rob. It's been so long. Did you keep your relationship with Meredith a secret from us for a while?
I don't remember either. It's been 8 years now. So.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Had you guys been hooking up? Do you remember?
No, we started dating So the first night, hold on, let me remember. I think it was like a New Year's Eve thing. She made out with me on my sister's couch watching a movie. But then after that, we just started talking and started dating right afterwards.
Like, we'll make this official.
Yeah.
You'll be my girlfriend? Yes, no, maybe.
We went and saw Big Hero 6 in the theaters as our first date, I believe.
And now the rest is history.
Big Hero 6.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
cartoon.
So you must have been a really good kisser. She's like, I gotta
have this.
have this all the time.
I guess so.
Oh,
I believe it.
There's something about it being so descriptive. New Year's Eve or making out on my sister's couch.
watching
My
a
niece,
movie.
is it your sister or your niece?
It's my sister. My niece was living there at the time because
Yeah.
she had just finished up college.
But didn't want the two of you hooking up.
Right.
She did not want you to date Meredith,
No,
right?
because apparently from after the first time Meredith met me, she had told my niece that she was interested. But my niece never told me. I heard from other people because she didn't want it to. She didn't want her worlds to mix, is what she said.
Well, that's messed up that she tried to keep the two of you apart. You're like Romeo and Juliet. They tried to keep you two apart. Yeah, that's so sad.
What movie were you watching that made you guys like make out?
This is the end, the one with Danny McBride.
Yeah. I
that's
just
a-
watched that
yeah,
recently.
that's
That's,
a
a
pretty
good
funny
movie.
movie.
It's a funny movie, yeah.
I was lost there for a minute thinking the same thing. They're just hanging out in the middle of the movie.
Love hearing about it.
Yeah, what is it about Rob's life like that, Riggs, that his romantic life that you just can't get enough of?
I don't know. Because I just don't know, you know. It's
Yeah.
like, well, you know, you're interested in what just natural curiosity, I think.
Is Rob's the only life you're interested in on the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're all pretty open about what we're doing. And but Rob, not because he's being, purposefully candid about it. He just, we don't bring it up with him that often. So when we get a little tidbit like that, it's just interesting. And he doesn't strike me as like an overly romantic person. Neither of them do.
But Rob,
as we just found out.
But he's admitted he does. He's done some very sweet things through the years, some very romantic things.
He has
through
his
the years.
moments.
Yeah,
That's why it
he really does.
surprises me when he does those things because they're very sweet and there's a lot of thought behind it.
And they're few and far between, to be honest,
Yes.
over an 8-year period.
yeah,
but
he wrote her like a poem one time.
it was a book. It was called Me Without You, and then I wrote some stuff at the end of it.
Stop. See?
So, what was the last thing, Rob, that you did that was very romantic for Meredith? That you would say is very romantic for
I
Meredith?
really don't remember. It's been so long.
How long?
He
do you
made her
think-
chicken thighs and then she didn't even want them.
Oh yeah, I tried to cook for her.
Yeah, you tried to cook for her and didn't know that she didn't like chicken thighs.
I made you quesadillas, bitch. This is why you treat me.
How long ago, prior to the quesadillas, how long ago would you have to go back?
I really don't remember.
Did she do a lot of sweet things for you, like romantic things for you also?
No.
Okay. Well, what is something she's done for you that you're like, that was really sweet of her, that was very romantic?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I really can't. I mean, I'm sure she has, and that she does things I appreciate, but nothing like super romantic.
Right.
Like she might, like the other day, she went to get donuts, and she got me a specific one that I like, when I didn't even ask for a donut.
But was very thoughtful.
Yeah.
Just,
I-
it's
and
those
love
little things
languages.
that keeping you top of mind at all times.
Will she walk by and like grab your butt or something?
no, she didn't do that.
I was gonna say nuts, but I was trying to soften it up.
What you paused, the way you paused her, she walked by and grabbed your. I was like, "What is he about to say?" So the answer is no to both, Rob.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jay is affectionate like that?
Jay is super romantic, way more affectionate than I am romantic.
In
and
the food truck, is he affectionate or is he all business?
No, he's affectionate.
Okay.
Oh,
So
lower
do
your
you-
health score. Don't do that.
So do you go by and grab his nuts?
Yeah, I do. No
Yes,
check.
More than just regular funny. This is Extra Funny. There's more of Ace and TJ's Extra Funny podcast next.
He told me from the very beginning, he's like, I've listened to you for like the last 2 years. So like, I know so much about you and I didn't know anything about him. And I didn't like that at first because I would say things. He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, I've heard that on the radio.
Yeah. Yeah, and it can make the conversation can be so one-sided because you don't want to dominate the conversation, but or well, I guess they know so much about you. You don't want to just keep peppering them with questions, but it's like, well, you know all this stuff about me. Tell me about, your family, your life, all that kind of stuff. How weird it is that you and your mom used to ride to school listening to me on the radio.
One thing.
Yeah. How pissed off your mom probably is about the whole thing.
How upset are they gonna be?
Yeah. You want to see a weird, that's an odd situation that went about as well as it could have possibly gone.
When you met her mom?
Met her family. I met her mom and her stepdad together. And it was, it's awkward, and I get it. One of the best things I could do is like right up front be like, hey, this is going to be weird. I get it's really weird for them. It's really weird for me. Yeah. Going to meet somebody's parents. Like what was I, 47, 48 at the time? Like I didn't have to go meet anybody's parents.
Yeah. But
she was 24, 25. It's like, yeah. It's like, I hear you. I mean, I understand. I get it. It's part of it, whatever. But, it's going to be super awkward for them, because I was able to put myself in the position of like, what if this were Peyton? Because I'd be like, what the hell is going on? Yeah. Like, I know how nice and cool I am, but they don't. So I would feel the same way.
Yeah.
And it was super weird and awkward. But they knew, by that point, we'd already probably been going out a year-ish or so, maybe.
Did she ever tell you what they said to her when she first told them?
I don't think we ever got into it in detail. Not thrilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were not thrilled. And I told her then, and they're right. They're 100% right. I can't blame them. They should feel that way, because that shows that they're good parents. They have every right to be concerned about the fact that their daughter is, suddenly going out with a guy who's 24 years older than her. They have a right to ask any question they want to ask. That's fair.
Yeah.
Especially when she's 25 years old, and they're like, what the hell? You're going out with a 49-year-old man? That's what it was, I guess. Yeah. Well, thank you, Alexis. But I get it. They have every right to say that. But it was cool. It was awkward at first. You try
but
to
then you guys bonded because you guys were all the same age. So you're into some of the same stuff, probably.
Yeah, I don't really think that was not...
Howdy doody.
That was not a bit of it. The Andy Griffith Show, yeah. The Beatles, all the good stuff.
Those like rotary phones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Swear we were watching when we watched the movie Air the other night. In the movie, I think it's Matt Damon is sitting at home, and to his left is a green rotary dial phone. And I turned to him and I froze it, and I said, that is the exact phone that was in my mom's house. Even when I was in college, she kept it in there.
I think about whenever I see that one of those phones, I think about you and how you said that you would want to try to call in the radio station to win things, but you couldn't dial fast enough.
It's a rotary dial phone. And the number to the radio station was 473-0093. Well, the 7 is enough of a problem, but 43, okay. But by the time you get to 0, well, it's over. Some kid with a push button phone's already gotten through to the DJ.
Yeah,
I could never win doing that. It sucked.
We gotta get a push button phone. We gotta.
Yeah.
7 digits without an area code, right?
No area code. I don't think they still, in my hometown in Pineville, they still don't have to use the area code.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't think they do.
When I found the way to look at those old newspapers from the Charlotte Observer, where we live, back in the late 1800s, the earliest editions, the phone numbers were only 4 digits.
Yeah, or they used to do. Like, have you ever seen the Andy Griffith Show? They pick up the phone and they'll talk to the lady who's the operator.
Yeah.
Like they would say, like, what, I forgot her name. They say, Alexis, connect me with Riggins at 429.
So you just pick up the phone and there was someone already there?
And they would just talk to the operator. Or maybe they would have to hit the thing to talk to the operator, have them be punched through or something.
Through.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Craziness.
So yeah, when I was a kid, it was just, the 7 numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think if it was like that. No, it wasn't like that we moved here. I think you always had to use the area code. 25 years ago, we moved here.
And then it was crazy because they had to make a different area code because they ran out of numbers.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure they still do not have to use the area code in my hometown in Pineville. Because it's literally, I've looked it up numerous times. When I graduated high school in 86, it was like 16,000 people. And today it's like 15,912 or something. It's
Less.
Yeah, maybe like 80 less people or something.
They're like, we're out of here.
Yeah, it's just about the exact same size as it was. The city itself, now the outskirts have grown a lot because that's kind of where everybody moved. They built a bunch of neighborhoods around the outskirts and tore down all the woods and everything. But it was weird.
That is weird.
And I was trying to think, one of the things that I don't know. We used to call information for everything. Like you pick up the phone, 411, and just to ask questions or,
What's the weather like?
Yeah,
Weren't you asked to see what the weather was going to be
There was
like?
a number you would call to get the weather.
Yeah.
It would tell you the weather for the day.
Yeah, that was before the movie phone thing too.
Before, and then when that
We
was
didn't
cool.
even have movies.
Yeah, when you
We just had long TV shows.
when you were able to call the damn, you didn't have to call the movie theater. You could just call the special number, and they would just read them off. That was a big deal.
Movie phone.
Yeah.
But what's something like going back? What's the earliest thing like that y'all can remember?
That calling for the movies because my mom would tell me call to find out the show times or getting phone numbers from a phone book.
Yeah, Yellow Pages.
The Yellow Pages, that was a huge thing.
And or looking up the movie times in a newspaper.
Oh, I never did that. Or having to know like what was on the TV channels, you would have to watch the TV Guide channel and like see the channel that you wanted, and if you missed it, you had to wait all over again.
Like, damn, I gotta wait for that thing to come back around to channel 67. It's gonna be an hour.
Even before that, like I didn't have that when I was a kid. I didn't have that channel. We just had to have like a TV Guide.
Like an actual
You
book
have to get
TV Guide.
Yeah, you have to get the book TV Guide at the store every week.
That was the biggest. TV Guide was the most, what do you call it, circulated periodical in the world, I believe, for forever, like the 70s, 80s, well into the 90s, because so many people had TV Guides.
Yeah, before that, you kind of just had to watch commercials and know when stuff was going to come on to watch it.
The good old days.
The damn right, the damn good old days. I mean, TV shows that were getting 20 million viewers, like, we're going to drop that, not enough people are watching.
Right.
And today, if you can't find 20 million people to watch anything except unless it's like a Super Bowl or a series finale or something.
And also everything is at like on demand. You can go to Amazon Prime, Netflix, and literally just put whatever you want to watch. It's amazing.
I think what was it? Game of Thrones is one of the only ones that had like people watching it as it was happening.
That video of the apartment building in New York City during the Game of Thrones, was it the finale?
Probably.
Where it was virtually every window was watching the same, you had the same color reflection, so you knew they were all watching the same thing. That's one of the wildest things I've ever seen, especially today.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But when you see things like, was it the MASH finale in the 80s, there were 90 something million people that watched that. That's an insane, and remember, far fewer people then.
Yeah.
There wasn't as many things to do. That's probably why.
Well, you didn't have as many channels.
Right.
There weren't as many things to do. So yeah, if you only had, maybe say you had 30 channels to choose from, which seemed like it was a lot, but most of those were bullshit. A lot of them you didn't, you never watched, but about 6 of those channels that you had anyway.
Yeah.
And then when you had something big, people just stayed home to watch because not everybody even had a way to record it to watch it later. So if you missed it, you just missed it. They weren't going to rerun it the next week or anything.
And when you could record, it was like on a VCR. I remember my mom recording the figure skating for the Olympics. So we had a bunch of these tapes of just random figure skating on them. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but you had to be aware of what you recorded
Right.
over. Did that? Can I use it? Are you doing with this tape? Can I use this tape? Okay.
There's like one tape in the house everybody uses.
Yeah, and TJ's talked about this before. They were the first people in Winfield to get a VCR because when they found out about it, his mom wanted to watch her stories every day.
And they were expensive. I saw in one of those old newspapers, a VCR was like $400 back then.
Yeah.
So I was like, that was a very
That's like
expensive.
spending $1,000 something today.
Right.
And movies on VHS for a time, like if you would go to like the rental store, you could buy them for $100.
$100?
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
But
So
admit
that's
it.
why you just rented them.
Right.
But we've all had this experience because, even when you're 32, Alexis,
Yeah.
we've all had this experience. And I think it's a lost experience. That going to the movie store on a Friday, you got your movie, but that was the world. We're gonna go home and watch this movie. because we got to have it back by tomorrow morning, or at the very least, it had to be back by Sunday morning or something. Yeah. And that was, you were going through and trying to make sure we got to get there early. Damn, if we get there after 6, we're not going to get any good movies because they're going to be taken. And the sadness of going to reach behind a movie you really wanted and realizing they've got 15 copies and damn it, they're all gone.
I can still remember the first movie I watched on DVD, and it was called Lost and Found. It's a David Spade movie in 1999.
I watched that movie. It was horrible.
It was not good.
It was already. Yeah, I saw that.
So you wasted that.
Yeah.